Hello YouTube, and welcome to Crusader Kings II. My name is ManTheMaker, and I will be bringing to you today a brand new Let's Play of Crusader Kings with a bit of a different idea behind how I will be playing it than how I usually go about playing this game and how I usually see other people go about playing this game. Often people just try and expand and gain power and become duke, or king, or emperor, or what have you. What I'm going to be doing is trying my best to roleplay the character that I start with and the subsequent heirs, depending on the traits and stats that character has. So, for example, if he is just, I will try and do the just thing. If he is deceitful, I will be a backstabbing little slime ball. If he's very good at diplomacy, I will try and do more diplomatic things. And if he's very warlike, then I will be pursuing war a bit more. That being said, I am still going to go about trying to grow my dynasty, grow my family's power, just doing that within the confines of these rules that I have set out. This will make things a little bit harder, I think, because I can't just do whatever I want, and sometimes I will have to make some adverse choices to my overall goal of power just to fulfill these requirements. But I think it's going to make things kind of interesting and be quite a bit fun, quite a bit more fun perhaps than what I've always done. At least different, and different is good. So without further ado, I'm going to load up the game that I have just started, and we will dive in and see what's going on. So the year is 1066. My name is Count Roger of Messina. I have two provinces, two counties, Messina and Reggio, and I am beholden to my liege, Duke Robert the Fox, my brother, and controller of all of this territory here. He brought me here 10 years ago or so from Normandy, from way up here, as we are Norman, and brought us down here and began ruling a small county, and has done quite well for himself to expand. Historically, our family has expanded and taken over all of Sicily and become the kings of Sicily. And this is a thing that I will also be trying to do. Let's take a look at our character, Count Roger. We are married. We've got 4 children, a bastard son who is not very talented, with just a quick overview of him. We have 3 daughters, one of which is our primary heir, Matilda here. Emma will be inheriting one of our other counties as of now. And Adelise, who pretty much will just be married off as young as possible. Just falling with the spirit of the times, 1066, you might be aware, it was not the most progressive when it comes to women. So we will be acting as Count Roger in 1066. That being said, our daughters can inherit, which is quite a bit more progressive than many other places in the world at this time, particularly in Europe. We are okay at diplomacy. We're pretty good at talking to people. That's always nice. I think we are the best at martial. We are a brilliant strategist and quite interested in the ways of war. Mediocre at stewardship and monitoring and taking care of our realm. We are not good at intrigue, and we are just relatively dumb. So we will be trying to incorporate these things into how we play, but also I think, and more importantly, is our traits. We are brilliant strategists, as I said before. We are just. Now, this is probably going to be the primary driver, and I think if anything conflicts with that, we will choose just overall. We are patient as well. We are kind, and we are gluttonous. So if any, when any events come up, we will be taking note of these first, but also of our numbers, our statistics here, and making a decision based on that. Now having looked at that, we can kind of decide on what our initial plan will be. And as nothing prevents us from waging war against heathens, Muslims particularly in our case, which our neighbors are, just will not stop someone from attacking someone of a different religion. They are animals, they follow a false god, and as such, laws do not apply to them. We will not be cruel, as we are not cruel, and I think just will take us away from that even further, but going to war against our neighbors is perfectly fine, which is good. And we will be doing that at the closest opportunity once we have enough troops or money to do so. So that will be our main goal. Let's take a look at what we need to do to prepare for that. We will start with our council. Here you have your 5 different primary advisors, one for each of the different stats that you have. So diplomacy is your chancellor, marshal is your military man, steward is stewardship, spy master is intrigue, and court chaplain is learning. So we'll start with our chancellor. You get 4 different options for all of them. The first being just a general thing, and then the other ones, you place them somewhere. So generally, we can just make people like us more. Our vassals, neighboring rulers, our liege, often quite good. We can improve diplomatic relations with a specific person if we wanted to. We can fabricate claims, allowing us to go to war with somebody. Now, the way wars work in this game is you need a casus belli, a cause for war. Holy wars are allowed with your neighbors, so we don't need to do that with these Muslims down here. If we wanted to attack our neighboring Christians, people within our liege's realm or outside of it, we would either need a legitimate claim, which there are a number of ways to get that, through breeding, basically, and marriage, or you can fabricate one where they will go and they will make up a claim. Now, we are just, and I do not think that this is a very just thing to do. So while often the primary way to expand will not be doing it, and thankfully we have an out here to go against our neighboring Muslims. We can also sow dissent, which will lower vassal liege opinions of wherever we send him. But I think we will just leave it at perform statecraft for now and just try and get everyone to like us a little bit more. Our marshal, I should also say, with a 13, he's not bad. It says masterful, but I guess it is a little bit on the higher. But getting up into an 18, 19, 20, that's where they're really, they can really make a difference. Our marshal with a 12, he can organize the army. This essentially improves your military commanders. I find that to be good later on in the game, because right now we can only have 2 commanders, and the chance to improve them, and I just find it not quite worth it when you only have 2. Once you become a duke or higher, you get 4, in which case this becomes, I think, much more interesting. He can suppress revolts, exactly what it says, train troops, increases our levy size, gives us more troops available, or research military tech. Brief comment on military tech and economic tech and cultural tech is we have incredibly high technology, one of the highest in the game. 13 military, 18 economic, and 18 cultural. I won't get into what that means right now, just know that it's very high. And as it is so high, we do not gain any technology at this current moment. I will get into why later when things change, but essentially that just means that increasing technology spread rate which it says there will give 60%, we have no technology spread. So it does nothing. Because we are small, like I said, this isn't that great. I find training troops to have the most benefit when you are small. It increases how many troops you have in one county. When we have so much of our power focused in one county, half really, makes the most sense to do that. Steward, not very good, but not terrible. He can improve our domain or have smugglers enter it. It's the same chance for each, and I find it not to be worth it when you're both small, but also when you're not very good at stewardship. Collecting taxes gives a bonus to one county. Kind of the same idea applies to training troops. When you only have 2 counties, doing this gives that bonus to half of your counties. You can also oversee construction, but we will not be building anything for some time, and research economic tech, more spread rate, useless for the same reasons I said previously. So we're just going to go and collect taxes. Money will be very important to our goals to start off, so we want that. Our spy master, with a 9, is okay, decent. He can scheme to help uncover plots and discourage factions from people from joining factions. Plots and factions are just ways that people within your realm and without can do potentially bad things to you. But again, when you're this small, you don't really have to worry about that kind of stuff. I won't get into the specific details of it for now, but we just won't need to do it. Sabotaging a province is something I've actually never done. But perhaps in this game, since we're role-playing, if we find someone with traits that lend themselves to that, we might actually go for it. We could build a spy network, focuses on one particular area and can have negative effects for the people in that area. So we would do this against someone, or encourage someone to join a faction that we like or not join a faction that we don't. But again, when you're this small, it's not something we need to worry about. Last but not least, we can send our spy master to study technology somewhere. What this does is you click on them, you find somewhere that has higher technology than you, which is all of these areas, and you send them there. And they're just going to go and they're going to take a look at what people are doing and report back and hopefully send back some useful information. I don't think it's not in line with just. He's just going. He's going to be a cultural exchange, if you will. So I think that's perfectly fine. And last but not least, or actually probably least, is our court chaplain. He can hunt apostates, so this will search out heretics, hidden heretics within our lands. We can convert nobles, subjects rather, and counties to our religion. We can research cultural tech, again for now, not very useful, or we can improve religious relations. This is definitely what we're going to be doing, and to understand why, we're going to go take a look at our vassals. Now we have 4, 2 mayors, so 2 leaders of cities, and 2 bishops, 2 leaders of abbeys, I think they are called. Bishopric, sorry. Now the leaders of the bishoprics, or the bishops, they only give you money if they like you more than they like the Pope. Right now, they like the Pope with a 44, Alexander II, and they like me at a 29. And so they don't give me any money for that reason. Same with the other one. Now, we want them to like us, to give us money. It's actually often quite a respectable amount that they give to us. So we are going to take our councilman and we're going to say, hey, go to Messina, see if you can't convince them to like us. So that's done. Next up, we are going to go and look at our important decisions. So we can recruit a doctor, which we will want to do. This will just be our court doctor. So you have sent messengers and scouts out in all directions to scour the realm for skilled physicians that will be willing to take up residence in your court. Word should reach you shortly if they manage to find a suitable candidate. Hopefully, they will not bring back a quacksalver who could potentially just steal my money or kill me or my family. I hope I do not have to wait long. We'll put that out. We'll look at what's next. The following title will be Lost on Succession, County of Reggio. So one of my 2 counties, when I die, will be lost to me. Why is that? Well, we can look at our family here. We have our bastard son, who is not inheriting anything because he's not legitimized. We may do that if he turns out to be really good, which is not happening just yet. These are all rather low stats. Our primary heir is Matilda. Because of our laws allowing it, we can actually have women heirs, which is not very common. But the downside to that is that women rulers often have a much harder time because men don't like being ruled by women. And we will probably want to have a male heir just to make things much easier for us going forward. Now, the reason she's not getting both of our titles, the County of Messina and the County of Reggio, is our succession laws. Being Gavelkind, our titles get split between our children. We can have more titles, but they do get split up. This is not something that I like to keep, and so as soon as possible, we will be going for elective monarchy, where we choose who our heir is, and they get all of our titles. To do that, we just need to wait 10 years. So hopefully we live for those 10 years, and we can do that. The only downside to this is if you're very unpopular, or the heir that you want is unpopular, or even worse, both, is that your vassals might not vote for who you want, or might not even vote for your family, and you could potentially lose titles that way. So we're not going to worry about that. For an ambition, we get to choose what we want to go for here. We can become a paragon virtue. We need high piety for that, which we won't get into just now. Become exalted among men, high prestige. Okay, this is basically how religious we are known to be. How prestigious we are known to be was prestigious. We need high piety to become exalted among men. Become king of Sicily. Acquire a title where we can ask our liege to just give us one, which is very, very powerful. Build a war chest, just gain money. And groom an heir, gives us increased fertility, and will help us get an heir quicker. Now, I would love to go for acquire a title, but I'm not quite sure. I don't really know. Do you think anything stops me asking for a title from our liege? I mean, we are patient, and so we might not really feel the need to expand that much. That being said, nothing says that we don't take the things or ask for the things that we want. We just go about it patiently. So I think we should do this. Getting an extra title early on is quite nice. Also, grooming an heir is good, but we could potentially get this very quick, gain a boost to prestige, and this would allow us to just ask our liege for a title. So we can take a look at our liege. Where are you, buddy? He only has two counties, so he will not give us one of those. We can ask him for one, which is what that ambition allows and is why I often go for it. But since he has so little, it's not worth it. So I think we'll just groom an heir, get that bonus to fertility, pop out some more kids. Now we pick a character focus. So there are 5 different categories for a focus of what your character wants to aim for. Depending on what you pick, you get different bonuses. We will pretty much only be going for things that we are good at, or things that our traits either highly suggest or just flat out prevent us from doing. So just for example, I think will prevent us from doing the intrigue one, seduction and intrigue. We are terrible at state intrigue, so we're not going to be going for either of those. We are terrible at learning, nor do we particularly care about religion, so theology and scholarship are not really part of it. We could go for business and rulership, and they are pretty decent, have some good events that can fire from that. We're very good at military, so going into the martial categories, war or hunting, makes a lot of sense. And hunting is really good, and often is the first one I go for, as you can get a hunting dog, which gives even more bonuses, and you almost always get it. Carousing and family are the diplomacy category. Carousing lets you kind of just make friends with other people. We have nothing stopping us from doing that, nor do we have... gluttonous does lend itself a little bit to that, as it is kind of going out and partying. And we may end up going for that, but I think also family will be quite important to us, just for our overall goal of having a child. So I think we will go into family. Our wife does prepare a mean meal, and so we will hang out with our family and eat all the time. Sounds perfect. Let's do it. This will give us quite a large overall bonus to fertility between these two that we just picked, and hopefully we'll start popping out some kids. Next up, we can look at our minor titles. Designated regent, so if we become infirm or die and our heir is too young, this is who will take over. Often you want someone who you can trust, so not deceitful, because they may try and kill you to become the regent temporarily. So he's out. You want someone with decent stats. He's got high diplomacy, but everything else is bad. Or you want someone that you can get a bonus to, because this does increase opinion. So we will probably want to go for our best, I need some water there. Go for our bishop with the best skills. They are both pretty terrible. He is deceitful, however. We don't like him. Gottfried, welcome to the team. These titles here don't actually do any real effect on the game, but they do give a bonus to opinion. So again, we are going to make these guys give them that title, and so they like us a little bit more. I don't think these things will be enough. Nope, but closer, much closer. And so hopefully if our court chaplain has success on his mission, they will start giving us some money. And last but not least, child lacks focus. We can pick what their education will be towards. He's not really good at anything. We are just, so we won't be putting him towards intrigue. And the way it works is you pick one of these categories and they get training in that direction. Now, depending on their childhood traits, which are different than what you have as an adult, you can have good things or bad things happen. So, for example, because he's an idolizer, martial education does not work as well. Whereas because he's an idolizer, education does. And I think I might actually go towards education. It's his highest skill, and we could potentially maybe one day make him a bishop. He is of our blood, even if he's not good, so I don't know if I would necessarily legitimize him. But it would be nice to give my little bastard here into a bishop, give him something in life. So we're going to go with that. We can do this with our daughters as well. Where are you at? And for the daughters, they don't have anything. I often always just go for thrift, as I think this gives some of just the best basic bonuses. I remember reading that somewhere. So we're just going to put all of our daughters into thrift, And we're also going to assign ourselves as her guardian. So this way we get to make decisions on her education, just for our heir. The others we're not going to worry about so much. And we are finally done and ready to unpause. And I think this will be the end of the first video. We've gone far enough into it, and it seems like a natural endpoint. So next time we will be exploring on how to take a war and expand against our heathen neighbors, and we will be starting to make a lot of decisions. Please, if you have any comments or criticisms, things you like, thoughts about how I should play with the different traits, maybe if you think I've made a wrong decision based on the traits, please let me know. I'm going to be adjusting to this. It will be a challenge to get everything right, and I'd love to have any kind of support to help me make the right decisions for that. So please let me know what you think, anything else that you liked or not, down in the comments. I'd also appreciate it if you did like this to subscribe to my channel. I will be having videos out every day, and also to give me a like. So that's all for this first episode of my first Let's Play series. My name is ManTheMaker, and you guys have a nice day.